So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to History with Arewa. It's gonna be this video is gonna be a very quick one because on the series of creation story according to Ifa that has started over a few months now, and I've done part one and part two. Even though this part three is not actually really necessary, but I just want to make a very quick, um, you know, I said during my series that it is in 5 stages. So I've explained up to like stage 4. I think, yeah, stage 4, then stage 4 and stage 5, which is a very quick one. So I have explained a lot in the series 1, in the part 1, and in the part 2, which are very, very detailed. And I really love all the feedback from you guys. And I got a lot of questions when a lot of people call me in all that. And I want to quickly say something before you continue watching this video. The creation story according to Ifa that I'm saying, it is not as if, for those of you asking me to reference a book, or someone is even asking me to mention the English name for something, this is a a compilation of according to Ifa, what Ifa says. And gbogbo aládé mọ̀ wípé ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire ni wá, tó túmọ̀ sí wípé a kì í da Ifá, Ifá ò kì í sọ, Ifá ò kì í, tẹ́ bá da Ifá, Ifá ò sọ English. English is not our language in káàárọ̀ oòjíire land. Even though I try as much as possible, because there's a lot of us that are Yoruba but tá gbọ́ Yorùbá dáadáa. So that's the reason why tí mo ṣe ń fi English sí. Normally I'm supposed to speak Yoruba all through, but I'm just including English into it here and there because of some of us that are Yorubas at the same time don't understand Yoruba much like that, and some of us that are not actually familiar with Ifá tàdé ọmọ Yorùbá, ìdí tó jẹ́ kí n máa fi English sí díẹ̀díẹ̀ nìyẹn. But normally English is not our language. O lè dáfá kí Ifá máa fún ẹ ní. It's just as if somebody is calling me to be asking me what is the English of Ejiogbe, what is the English of Ogunda, what is the English of Orosun. I mean, ẹ má bínú, ó sound ridiculous létí tèmi because Ifá ò kì í ṣe English, Ifá ò kì í sọ English, Ifá is not English. Ifá has nothing to do with English, has even nothing to do with, because kò kì í ṣe èdè wa nílẹ̀ káàárọ̀ oòjíire. So kíyàn kan máa bèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé kí ni English Ògúndá méjì, kí ni English Ìrosùn, kí ni English Èjìogbè. You understand? Like, I don't know, it just sounded somehow to me, because this is not to me, I look as if the person is not serious, because lè máa sọ fún mi pé kí ni English mo dárúkọ babaláwo, kí ni English Ọ̀rúnmìlà, kí ni English ilé. I mean, all sound somehow ní etí tèmi. So English ò kì í ṣe language wa. Tẹ́ ẹ bá dáfá English, Ifá ò ní dá yín lóhùn pẹ̀lú English. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ English nínú Ifá. English is not Ifá's language, Ifá's spoken language. So expecting me, calling me to be asking me what is the English of this, what is the English of that, it sounded somehow. Somebody even called me and asking me kí ni English Ọ̀rúnmìlà. I mean, sound back létí mi. So if I do the series in English and I speak Yoruba at the same time, it's just because of some of us that jẹ́ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ pé a gbọ́ English, ó lè jẹ́ kí n máa fi English sí here and there so that a máa bẹ̀lẹ̀ máa yé the non-Yoruba speaking people. That's the reason why. It's not as if English ò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Ifá. Tá bá dáfá, Ifá ò ń dá yín lóhùn pẹ̀lú English. Kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní inú Ifá. So let's just get that clear and out of the way. So let's continue with the series. I think I stopped in I'll just continue from where I stopped. It's going to be a quick. The stage 4 and 5 is just a minor. The real story is from part 1 and part 2, from stage 1 to 3. The remaining is just little little things tí Ifá sọ ní stage 4 and 5 kò ń ṣe nǹkan tó pọ̀ lọ títí. The main creation story bó ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó ti wà ní part 1 and part 2 from stage 1 to stage 3. Stage 5 has to do with how we are living in our environment at the moment. So let's get into it. Thank you very much, everyone. I love the feedback. And I'm sorry that the third one is even coming late. Thank you once again. Let's get into it. God has moved away from creation, then to procreation, then into multiplication. And that is why all of us today, we are the product of Odùduwà, Ọbàtálá, Ògún, and Ọ̀ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, Èṣù-Ọ̀dàrà, àti Ọ̀rúnmìlà. Those 7 divinities, irúnmọlẹ̀, there is nobody that is not affiliated to one of them. The bones in us is created by Ògún because they are metals. That is why it has a lot of iron. But Ifá says, this is again in Ogbefun, Ifá says, the bones that were oxidized, those are the ones that are called Akọ. That is a male child, a male Akọ. And that is a male. But the one that was not oxidized is called Obi-Irin. And that is Obìnrin. That is Obìnrin. You have seen the work of Ògún. But when you look at Ọ̀ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, Ọ̀ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì was actually the designer of how we look like. That is the work of Ọ̀ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì. So we cannot even say that Ọ̀ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì did not try. Egungun. Without Egungun, none of us will be here today. So Egungun is even superior to Ori. You talk of Ori because you were born. So if you were not born, there is no Ori. And then let's look at Egungun. That is the spiritual aspect of our DNA. When you look at a DNA, like my own father's DNA, your own cannot, propagate my own, because it does not carry, because you do not carry the DNA of my own. And that is all the physical aspect. But the spiritual aspect, the spiritual connection between me and my father, between you and your own father, that is the most important part. And that is why when a child is given to a wrong person, when a child is given to the wrong person, it will become very difficult for such person. Because if they ask you to go and feed your ancestor, which ancestor are you going to feed? This is totally different from when a child is adopted. That one is clear, is a clear case. And the child will not go there and mention your own ancestor. Well, I don't know my ancestor, but wherever you are today, come and help me. It is different from, propagating the wrong ancestor. Because the spiritual DNA will not match. If we are looking at something physically, we should remember to also look at it spiritually. Before anything can manifest physically, that thing would have been completed spiritually. If you want to solve the problem completely, you start from the spiritual place, then you move to the physical, then you'll be able to solve the problem. I'm talking about the fourth stage of creation. And that is the stage that we are. And Ifa says that there are 5 stages. And Ifa states that there are 5 stages. Instead of moving to the moving to the 5th stage, instead of we can jump to the 5th stage, we are moving away from it with full speed. And that is why we have more crises in the world. Wars, wickedness, pains, anguish. And it's not supposed to be like that. Let's go back to Osa Guleja and see what Ifa says there. Ifa says everybody must be fortified. A strand of air cannot make the whole hell. Just one palm tree cannot make a forest. 1 ounce of sand, 1 hand cannot make an ant stand. 1 insect cannot make, like 1 drop of water cannot make the sea. One fish cannot make the ocean. We need to cooperate. Where are we today? Are we cooperating? Some of us, egos will not even allow us to cooperate. And Ifa does not support equitalism. Ifa does not support socialism. Ifa does not support communism. Ifa supports communalism. All of us must work together so that we'll be able to achieve the common goal. No single person must go hungry, no matter what anybody says. No matter what anybody says. If you are in this country, you must have somewhere to sleep and you must have food to eat. It might not be enough though, but you will have something to eat. If you go to some part of the world, you will see the people die on the streets. People die on the streets because there is no good co-creation. Maybe, just maybe, the leaders of Nigeria will need to help us as well. Tell the world how to do it with a lot of resources. What if all the resources even decrease? It will be different. Teach the world so that we can move to the 5th stage.